Yummo. Hey guys, Jeremy here, and we are looking at the Neretva bread machine. This was sent to me at no charge for this review, and we are just about ready to finish up a loaf of bread. I have done just a little bit of mixing for you so that you can see what that looks like, gone through the process. Now, what I did here was a boxed mix. And so I got some suggestions about a boxed mix and how you should probably prepare this. But we're waiting for this to come out, and we're doing a cinnamon streusel bread rather than cinnamon streusel muffins or a cinnamon streusel coffee cake. We're doing a little loaf of bread. So what we got here is a boxed bread mix. Now this is a cinnamon streusel bread mix. Rather than doing muffins, I went with the bread. Now, if you're doing a boxed mix, I know there's a bunch of different choices out there. For my particular mix, I think one suggestion that I would make is that I would use two mixes. And I want to show you why I would use two mixes. It looks like I'm only getting a half a loaf here. Now, I'm getting ready to pull this out and show you what that looks like. But it's just going to be just a short loaf. And so I would probably use two mixes in that. I did also use olive oil rather than vegetable oil. And the reason I did that is just for a little bit healthier option there. So what you get here is the bread machine. And with this bread machine, you get your instruction manual, and the instruction manual is super helpful. It also does have like about 20 different recipes. Now each recipe is going to have its own program, which means it's going to go through its own cycle of mixing, resting, and baking. So it's going to go through 3 different cycles, and depending on what bread you choose to make, it's going to have different spin times, different mixing times, different resting times, and then different baking times. Now all of the bakings are somewhere between 35 and 60 minutes. Now when I did my boxed bread mix, it said to bake for 35 to 45 minutes. I went ahead and baked it for a full 50 minutes in the in the bread machine. We're going to see what that looks like here in just a second. So you get the bread machine, you get a hot mitt here. It's pink, so it's a hot pink mitt. How do you like that? You do get a couple of these blades here, which is going to be for your mixers. And you know, when you put all of your ingredients in, it's going to do all the mixing for you. Nothing to worry about there. Even with the box mix, I didn't mix it up first and then dump it in. I just put all the ingredients in, and then it mixed it on its own. You didn't have to do anything. You also get your measuring cups, and then a larger measuring cup for your water and for your oils. And then you get this little kneader. And what this is going to do is scrape the side of the pan. So we give it just a little quarter turn there and pull the bread out. Look at that. Now I did not spray my pan. I did not oil my pan. I just let the oil in the mix take care of it. Whoa, look at that. Okay, so let me tell you what I think. I've never made bread before. You're gonna put your water first, then you're gonna put your oil, then you're gonna put your salt or your sweeteners, whatever you're gonna be using for that. And then it seems like the egg and flour go near the last. And then you're gonna mix all that together. Now, here's one of the paddles that we use to mix. And then here's what I want you to notice about that. You got a flat side, so it only goes in one way. Those just set in there, just like that. Let's see if I can pull it out for you. There we are. So it's just gonna go in there on this little, that's where your spinner, your mixer in there. And so it's going to sit on this gear right down here in the bottom, and it's gonna mix all your stuff. Now, I tell you what, I'm pretty impressed with this. Look at that. I mean, it's cleaning out all by itself. Look at how clean that is. Got a few crumbs there on the side. Hey, we're just about ready for our next loaf. So the entire process for this took 3 hours. And the only reason it took 3 hours is because typically with a loaf of bread, it's gonna have yeast in it, and so it's going to have a rise time. Now I want you to take a look at how this works. So what happens is after you get all your ingredients in, you're gonna turn it on, then it's gonna mix. Then it's gonna mix for 10 minutes. Then it's gonna rest, then it's gonna mix, then it's gonna rest, then it's going to mix. Then it's gonna go into a rising cycle. In that rising cycle, that's where your yeast is gonna be activated. And so you're gonna take 42 minutes of just sitting waiting for it to rise. Then it's going to pause. Then it's going to take another 50 minutes to rise a second time. So it's rising an hour and a half, and then it's going to bake for 50 minutes. So the thing that we have here is if you're using a boxed mix, like this one is kind of a dessert mix, no reason for it to set for an hour and a half waiting to rise, because this doesn't rise. So I would probably pick, personally, after this experience, I'd probably pick something that didn't have the rise time, so that it doesn't have to sit and rise when it's not going to rise. But if you're looking for a bread machine, super simple. I'm not the baker in the family. I'm just the reviewer, and I made this loaf of bread. I'm pretty happy about it, and I think that if you were to go ahead and pull the trigger and pick up one of these machines, I don't think that you're going to be disappointed. Now let's go ahead and cut into this and see what it looks like. Yummo.
You can cut it like that.
Look at that. It did get done all the way through. Really moist. Holy cow. That's super. I'm just going to have to eat the whole thing. That's pretty good right there.